Said you wanna be a player, don't wanna play the game. Players hustle through, they all the same. Said you wanna be a player, don't wanna play the game. Players hustle through, they all the same. Show me the money, ooh.
Welcome to episode 7 of the usual podcast. Lately I've been going around and I've been getting advice from people on how my podcast should be ran. And I would like to start by saying, fuck y'all. I definitely appreciate everything that you guys said. And I want to put all of that into consideration, but I don't feel like I'm being myself. I'm not drinking today because I drank too much the past 5 days due to being connected with a crew of mine. And we indulged. We basically vacationed for a week. Yeah, and got work done.
A little bit of work.
And I indulged last night, and I'm still dizzy, so work with me, people. Work with me. Today we have, as usual, Mr. OG VELL himself.
Yo, what up? What up, gang members? What's happening?
He hungover, too. We also have NICOLE here, which is amazing. She's back for another episode. Evidently, we did something right the first time. If you'd like to say hello to the fans.
Hello. I feel like that's the same thing I said last time. Super original.
Oh, man. At least you're being consistent. That's the thing that we need.
Consistency is key to results.
Consistency is key, which is connected to okay, it's fine. Anyways, on to the next.
It's going to be great.
I'm doing wonderful. I can tell you that right now. So, topic for today, we're going to bring up dating. And I think this is a new form of dating, new type of dating.
Oh, the internet.
That's probably the problem.
Oh, let me tell you.
That's the problem. Feel free to tell the world about your internet.
My internet?
Internet experiences.
I mean, the problem is men don't actually have to talk to women anymore. They don't have to have manners. They don't have to have respect. They can get behind an app and talk a whole bunch of shit and be whatever they want and think that it's totally okay to talk to women that way. And then women sit here and go, oh, okay, that's fine. It's not fine.
Yeah.
He can't talk to you like that. That's not okay.
So they have no one disciplining these men.
Oh, I mean, we're already in a generation where they feel like, I've had this conversation a lot, where Bay Area men feel like they don't actually have to have respect. They don't have to open doors. They don't have to, be courteous. They don't have to do any of that stuff.
Sure.
And so now these women, we step up and do it ourselves, and they complain. These men complain, well, if you're not going to do it, then who else is going to do it?
Now, when you say they complain, you mean they complain because you're opening the door for yourself?
Well, because they feel like, well, if you don't need us, then why are we around? Because we want you around, which is ultimately the goal, which is ultimately what you would like in a partner, is that they don't depend on you for all of these things. But you complain, like you want a damsel in distress, but you don't really. You really don't.
Independence.
You want independence, but then we're too independent.
Let me open up a door, goddammit. Shit. Let me put some gas in the tank.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
Literally, I would be so impressed if that happened. I would be like, oh my god, are you for real? Like, you really opened my door without me having to stand here or say something or like anything? That's impressive.
Yeah, I had a conversation similar to this with a woman that I didn't even know who she was. But she was a friend of mine's roommate. And she was basically saying, similar to what you're saying, but she was more like upset about it. And she was saying that guys should do this and they should do that. And I totally see her point. But I was trying to explain to her that maybe it's because, and I'm not giving a pass for the people that's assholes and rude, but maybe the chivalry thing, maybe it's dying out because it's not displayed. Like, maybe you wasn't raised in a household where, the guy is practice chivalry. You know what I mean? Maybe,
absolutely.
And then nowadays that we're all older, it's like, it's more independence. So it's like, how can I say it? Like, last time we had the conversation about the link up instead of a date, because it makes people feel a little bit more comfortable. Maybe some guys might feel a little uncomfortable going out of the way and doing something nice due to rejection. Maybe it's like, what if I do all this, and then it's kind of like, nah, it's like I did that for nothing. I'm not saying that it's okay to be rude, but I'm just saying maybe that's why it doesn't happen as much anymore.
Well, I also think that women haven't, I think with social media and things like that, women have kind of accepted a low bar. And instead of saying, no, this is not okay, we need to have a higher standard for how we should be treated and how things should go. Okay. So because we've accepted this low bar, there is a pass. They don't feel like they have to do anything. Yeah. I mean, if you go anywhere else, like, for example, I'm from Texas, so when I went home this last time, men opened the doors. Men who I don't even know opened the doors, and there was a yes ma'am, there was a thank you, there was everything. Yeah. You come here, I'm usually the one holding the door for everybody else to go through, and there's a problem with that.
No,
100%.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny you say that too, because the woman I was talking to about it, she's from Texas as well. Mm-hmm. Like, she's from the South, so like she's used to that.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think like even out here, is some guys that open the door and kind of hold the door for people as well. I do it, Deshaun do it, but you know, when it comes to like going on a date, like I don't think about it. Mm-hmm. You know, even though sometimes I should practice that, I don't think of it. And it's not to be malicious. It's like it just slips my mind sometimes.
Okay,
you know?
So then if you're walking down the street with your lady, where are you and where is your lady?
Oh, I'm next to the street.
See, that's not a thing that happens. That's definitely not a thing that happens. No one cares. I'm like, for real.
Many people don't know. Do you think maybe some guys don't know? Because I don't feel like the average guy knows that. You know?
I bet that could be, but I also think you're right. Is like how you were raised, 100%. Like, if my dad still opens the door for all of the girls if we're there, you know, there is a line that was set and a precedent. So anything other than that, I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. My biggest thing on that is I don't mind being nice. I don't at all. Mm-hmm. If you want me to open the door for you, whatever. It doesn't make a difference to me. Mm-hmm. You want me to cook? You want me to, how was your day? Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. That's fine. But when I get the vibe that you don't quote unquote deserve it, it's not going to happen.
Well, I think that a lot of women don't, like, they feel like now it's kind of like a downgraded thing, like we can't do it ourselves. It's actually a term of respect, just like saying yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. It's a term of respect. It's showing that we care about you or we value your life or whatever. So it doesn't need to necessarily be a we can't handle it and can't do it ourselves type of thing. So I think that women get aggressive with it, they get upset, or they just don't say anything, and then they expect it all the time, and then throw a huge hissy fit.
That's the biggest problem. You expect it.
I don't think women shouldn't be expecting anything, but I think that we also need to kind of raise the bar a little bit and say this is and isn't acceptable.
No, I definitely agree. The one thing that irritates me the most is when I hold the door for male or female and I don't get a thank you.
Right.
Get your ass back out here.
Yeah, no, that shit's weird.
Oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, that shit's
so
weird.
Annoying.
Oh, it's rude.
Yeah, that shit happen in LA a lot.
Say thank you.
That shit happen in LA a lot, man. I'll hold the door and people walk by and no one says anything. No one, even just some acknowledgement in general.
Give me a head nod.
Just something. Appreciate it, you know.
Not
thank
just,
you.
You better have opened the door. That's how I feel. When
you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's irritating.
So then how do you feel about the dating apps? Because I feel like these dating apps are so annoying because they basically, there's like a pass. Like, they don't actually have to get to know you, and you don't actually have to work on your social skills. What does that say about the Bay Area if the Bay Area has to have so many dating apps for you to meet somebody?
Okay, well, before we get to that, there's two things that strike.
When I hear that.
For sure. The one is these dating apps are everywhere. They're not just in the Bay Area. That's one.
True.
And two, my family has finally got to the point to they're saying, Deshaun, you need to find a woman in the South, out of California. They didn't just exclude the Bay Area, but they said these California women are not for you. You're too nice. You need to find a woman outside of California.
You need to find a Southern. 100%. I agree.
Facts.
Southern Belle.
I am 100%.
Facts.
We take care of our men.
What I think there's two. I think I do think that it kind of cripples us as people, like conversing back and forth, and like or just like natural interaction amongst like just human to human.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely do think that, but also the second is what I think is that what fuels it is sex and money, and money is because like that's like the biggest thing out here is
for sure.
apps and being on your phone. So if you can create a dating app, everybody gonna want some sex eventually.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna want some money.
Yeah.
So the sex is what pushes it, and the money is like, yo, I'm gonna get on this app, I'm gonna make this app, and boom, I'm gonna put it out there, and these people gonna eat it up. So I don't even think that the people that are behind the scenes making it, I don't think they really give a fuck about if you meet your match. I don't think they care. It's just a platform that they created, they put out, and people like us are hoping that we come across someone that we really enjoy. I mean, me personally, I don't really know much about dating online. I haven't really done it. I mean, I have my fair terms of swiping, you know what I mean? Swipe live. But, like, I haven't really indulged in it to have a real opinion about the actual, like, everyday dater on there. So.
Which is hard to understand.
Yeah.
I mean, so I have really bad social anxiety. So for me, if you're not in any place that I'm at consistently, then I'm not going to meet you, and I'm probably not going to, like, I'm not a pursuer of types. Like, I'm not a person to go out and pursue somebody else or, like, do that. I don't do that. So for me, it's a good way to start, like, talking and trying to be social and find a way to, like, get out of the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if these people don't converse back, they text you once, they say something once, then never say anything again. Well, what is the freaking point? One.
They ran
Two,
shit to say.
like, if all you want to do is have sex, I feel like that should be something that you kind of disclaim in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to waste my time, get dressed, get out there, do whatever. If that's all you want, because I'm already going to tell you no. I can tell you no from my bed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to get dressed to go tell you no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't make sense.
Back up.
Do you think that it starts off as just wanting sex and then it turns into something real?
So I think from, like, the different, different profiles, you can kind of tell, like, I mean, if this person is all body shots, like, well, you know, that's probably what that is going to be. Yeah. But, I mean, all the first step in dating in general is you're physically attracted to somebody.
Right, for sure.
But for me, as the conversation goes, I need to talk to you and have a conversation, because if I feel like if you're dumb or, like, we don't align on things then I'm not going to go and meet you. There's no point in going to meet you because we don't align, and I don't want to waste your time, and you don't, like, that just doesn't make sense. So, I mean, obviously the first initial part is that we're attracted to that person. Yeah. But anything more than that, it's based off conversation.
Correct. Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, hopefully.
For sure. Yeah. No, I agree.
That's how you build that attachment over and over. It's also hard, too, to communicate via apps. I started to notice signs. Like, when I was on Tinder and I'm on Bumble.
Well, Tinder's just all about fucking anyway.
All the girls that write in their profile, I'm not here for hookups, they all want to hump. It's always the same shit over and over again. And also, I fell victim to this too. Like, there's some girls that I'm physically attracted to and I want to talk to them. But I'm doing so many other things on my phone, bouncing from here to here to here. Somebody call my name. I done forgot to reply for 2 days. And then at that point...
I do that. I'll just be laying in bed. I ain't even doing shit. I'm just laying there like, fuck.
It's like, damn. But once that time period goes, it's like, it's like rekindling the conversation that started 2 days ago. Yeah. And same thing goes both ways. But building, I'm more of like, you don't have to get dressed, but let's go meet somewhere. And then let's have a physical conversation. So I know you're paying attention. I'm not wasting my time. I can read off your body language and, like, if you trash, I'm gonna know you trash just for meeting you.
Yeah. I definitely think that even just like a phone call would be better. Like, I feel like I'm trash when it comes to, like, texting and hitting the DM. Like, I'm horrible at that shit. Yeah. But I'm definitely confident if I feel like we're talking and I'm interested in you, and I feel like you're interested in me. Like, I'm very confident in that. But it's like you have to get through the texting part before you can make it there. So, like, for me personally, it's like, man, like, what the fuck? Yeah, she hot, but, like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, how was your day? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I can be basic, like, hey, you know, like how you doing or whatever. And it's like, if I get something back dry, then it's like, fuck, like, I want to talk to you, but what the fuck are we talking about? Yeah. I'd much rather talk face to face or over the phone. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely have some go-to questions because of my stance on where I am with a couple of things.
Yeah, what are those questions?
So, when they're, if they want kids, because we are older and I'm like my age range is like anywhere between 30 to 40. So the higher you get, you kind of want to know, well, do they have kids? Do they want kids? More than that, because I don't. And if you want kids, this is not the way to go, because you're not changing my mind. That's something that I'm not going to change about. So if that's something you're wanting, then maybe you should look elsewhere. And I established that pretty early, just so that, 5 years down the road, you're not like, oh, I want kids. And I'm like, well, you knew I didn't from the beginning.
I told you.
That's not gonna work. And then their stance on marriage, because I don't necessarily have to be married. I'm totally fine with having the same person for the rest of my life without having to be married. But if it's something that's important to them, then I would consider doing it, obviously. But it's not something that I absolutely need. So those are usually my kind of questions that I ask pretty early, just so that I know. And my issue now is the 50-50 man. The man who's like, oh, I'm 50-50 on kids. Oh, so do I invest in this and then hope later you don't change your mind?
Yeah, but it's like if it's a test and you get a 50% on a test, what would that be considered?
You failed, right?
You know
so
what I mean?
It's kind of like, do you, and like, I've had this where they're a great connection, great thing, but then I don't know what to do, because I don't want to wait 10 years down the road. And he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I want kids. I'm like, I've just invested 10 years in you, and I don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
So that's where my struggle is. I think it's harder for me because most men want kids, and they want a family, and they want all these things. And so usually I'm ending up dating men who already have kids who don't want kids. And then there's a whole other set of dating problems where, you become second or third or fourth to the kids. So you kind of have to find a balance between a happy medium. So that's kind of my problem.
All of them now.
Yeah, that's rough. I never actually really thought of that.
Yeah.
That's not real.
You're in a relationship with the baby mom, with the kids, and what to do.
Yeah, well, I'm talking to one now, and he does, I'm very understanding with that. Like, I'm very much like, okay, I understand, like, I get you Monday through Friday, and then you get your daughter, Friday through Sunday, and then he'll, whatever, the end of on Sunday night. I'm very understanding with that. I understand. I'm not, like, pushing it. It's not, like, I'm getting upset or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to figure out, okay, well, how does it work later on? Like, does the daughter, like, always take priority over me in all things? Are we equal? Are we, like...
Yeah.
Like, if I were to say that your daughter did something to me, would you believe me or believe her? Kind of thing. And am I important? Because you have to show the kid that this person is important, so the kid can't walk all over.
Yeah, for sure. So they can show some respect. Yeah.
So I just kind of have to figure out where the boundaries are. I haven't asked those questions yet because it's not there yet, but I am very, like, I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, you're not going to allow yourself to get, like, sideswiped.
Oh, no. But, I'm also not going to get, like, there's no exclusivity either. So, am I allowed to do things with other people? Am I allowed to talk to other people? Am I allowed to date other people? What am I allowed to do? Because there hasn't been that exclusivity talk. So, it's kind of just like,
it's up in the air right now.
It's up in the air.
Wow, yeah,
that's an option.
I don't have any experience in that realm to even, like, indulge in it, but it sounds
right.
It sounds like it could be tough. It sounds like it could definitely be tough.
It definitely is. I think, especially, have you ever met a girl in the Bay Area that, like, can't talk, that, like, has no social, like...
All the time.
Really? Because I find it all the time with men, but with women, it's they're just like, let's talk about whatever. And I'm like, okay, but with
we
men,
say, hey, how you doing all the time, very innocently, and they look at us like we're speaking a foreign language.
Seriously?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing is not English in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
What's up, bitch? Now it's like, oh, now you understand.
Oh.
Yeah. Bay Area folks, and I don't mean to bash us, you know what I mean? Because, like,
we are the shit.
Yeah, but, like, people in the Bay, they're not really too, like, socially welcoming. You know what I'm saying?
God,
like in Colorado, I went out there for work. All the people were nice.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was nice. Everyone was, like, willing to, like, talk and give you insight on certain things and shit. But, like, here it's kind of like, fend for yourself, like, fuck off, homie.
Oh, absolutely. People here are so not genuine, and it drives me crazy. Like, I genuinely care about what happened to you in your day, and you don't, but until you need something from me, or until I can get you somewhere. And I'm just like,
That's just wild.
Oh, this is crazy.
It's pretty intense.
It's annoying. It's super annoying. I'm like, do you guys realize if you go anywhere else in the world, like, people will hate you?
Yeah.
Like, do you
yeah.
realize that?
Oh, yeah.
People do not appreciate you, like, at all.
I guess I blame it on the screen time. This is Silicon Valley, so we get all the newest shit from wherever it's coming from first. Like
Right.
last night, for example, it was people sitting front row at the UFC
that
fight.
was crazy.
And it's like, so they're sitting here, and the fight's happening right there, but there's a big screen behind everyone. So everyone's turned and they're looking at the screen, but the fight's right here.
Literally.
Seriously.
And
Literally.
everyone's doing this.
They're making it uncomfortable for themselves to stare at a screen when there's live action happening right in front of them.
Yeah.
It was fucking
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
It's so crazy how, like, kids nowadays, like, I'm just like, you should go outside and go play. And they're like, no, I'd rather just sit inside. I'm like, are you kidding me? My parents would leave my ass outside for, like, 4 hours until it was dark. And this is how socially you learn. This is how you learn how to do things.
You gotta drink out the water hose, because if you come inside, you can't go back out.
Oh, my gosh. I remember.
No, Mom, let me get a water. Shut your ass up. Go play. That's how it was.
Seriously. Like, being in the service industry, too, people go on dates and they're on their phone the whole time. The whole time. I'm like, did you learn something from this person sitting over here? Did you learn anything? No?
We
oh,
seen
well,
that
let
yesterday.
me just text you
Yeah.
my answer.
Yeah. Yeah, at the airport yesterday, it was a couple that came in, and the whole time they were there, they were both on their phones. They
Yeah.
probably said one or two things to each other. I'm hoping they was just on a trip and they tired of each other. Now, it's not always like that, but...
Or even if they was a couple. Were they a couple? I couldn't tell.
They were holding
So would you
hands.
set rules then for, like, technology and stuff in your relationship? Because I'm pretty sure I would. Like, if I'm with my person, my phone doesn't need to be on unless my mom's calling me or somebody like that. Like, I don't need it unless it's absolutely necessary.
No,
but
that
there
makes
are
sense.
people who do need to be on their phone all the time.
Yeah.
So would you set kind of like some boundaries or some rules? Kind of like, hey, you know what? We need to have like phones off by 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if it's like work related, if it can wait, then I would say, yo, like, get that shit later. Like, you ain't gotta worry about that shit. But if it's work related and it needs to be done, then I'm not gonna tell you to put it away for me. Especially if I have you right there.
So is it different if you live together or versus when you just see each other like random days?
Yeah,
Definitely different.
Yep, totally different.
Definitely.
Totally different. Because if I live with your ass, I'm not going to sit there and be in your mouth 24/7. You know what I mean?
You sure you don't want it?
Nah, I don't. I mean, you know, sometimes I don't want to be in the mouth. You know what I mean? But other times, yeah.
Okay, wait. So this is a modern thing. So about like dating, right? So who pays?
Whoever got more money at the time.
Okay, so I was talking to my mom about this.
Boom.
And she was saying, like, whoever invites pays, but it doesn't have to go that way all the time. But I think whoever invites and whoever makes more money or has more at the moment. You know what I mean? Like,
wait, for first date or continuously?
continuous.
Okay.
For the first date, I mean, me personally, I would pay.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But if she wanted to pay, you know, like, I would try to fight it a little bit, but if she's stronger than me in that category, like, you can go ahead.
She
like,
arm wrestled me.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's good. Like, I got you next time.
I'm paying.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah.
what's
I'm definitely
this
gonna be like,
gonna
nah, I got it. You know how you can go back and forth? Like,
Yeah.
no, it's cool. No, I got it. No, trust me, I got it. No. You hit me with the trust me, I'm be like, all right, for sure. I'm gonna fall back. It's all you, man. It's all I'm gonna fall back.
Remember that. You know what to say.
Right. Now we know.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that makes total sense. I've been known to. I'm the person that'll slide my card to the waiter or waitress before it even gets to that point.
Okay.
So when the bill comes back, it's already paid. That's usually kind of what I do, just because I don't want to deal with that back and forth type stuff.
Got it.
And if it's the first time we went out, then yeah, I don't mind paying. It doesn't make a difference. But I'm not I'm paying because you're coming back home with me type. Nah, I gotta see you again. Like, you gotta pay for some shit before you come back to the house. Like, I need to know that you are committed just as much as I am, and you're not just, oh, he got a nice house and he pays for food all the time, so I'm gonna go kick it with him.
Got it.
I've been used once or twice. So
Female syndrome.
I can
Got
kind
it.
of see the sign. Oh, hey, you want to hang out? Haven't seen you in a while. AK, I'm fucking hungry and I don't have enough money. Can we go out to eat?
Right?
So
Okay.
if you're on a date and the waitress come out with the bill, that means she's paying. According to what you just said, that's what it sounds like.
Not necessarily.
Because you're going to slide the card prior to that.
Well,
So if you don't slide that card and she comes back, it's like, hey, ma, that's on you.
No. I mean, like, my card's already given to them before we even order. So, like, when we go...
Right, so but he's saying if the bill comes and the waitress doesn't have your card, that means that
That's
the
a
woman
sign
should
that she's
expect
paying
that
for
she
that
needs to
motherfucker.
pay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn, I've never
Yeah.
been in that situation before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
You
I
should try
understand.
it. See
I
if
don't
it
know if I
works.
understand.
You hear that, ladies?
Right? So for me, I go on a date and I always make sure that when I go, I have enough money to cover if he says anything.
Yeah.
I always want to make sure I have enough money to cover. Do I generally expect or assume that the man will cover the first date? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But anything after that, I'm always like, especially if we go and do a lot of things together, like if we're going to go out to the park and we're going to have a picnic and we're going to go to dinner and we're going to do drinks, stuff like that, I'll have to pay for one of the two events. Like, hey, so I'll pay for one if you pay for the other. But I remember so that one person isn't always spending more of their money.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's going to be highs and lows. But, I mean, I generally think that you can go 50-50. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I think that the first date, though, generally, I would assume the man would pay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, I wouldn't dare ask a woman out
Really?
and then ask for her to pay.
Oh my gosh, I had
There's
that
no
happen.
fucking way I would
Pay
do
for the
that.
food?
For anything on the first date.
No.
Oh man, that happened. This guy came in dressed like Kanye West. He didn't look like that when I met him. Swear to God, Kanye West, like V-neck all the way down to here. Basically was telling
belly
me
He looked like
how
2008.
he was like
2008,
God's
yeah.
gift to women. And then at the end was like, you got this, right? And I was like, boy.
Yo, you know what? This sound like that bum ass nigga we saw in Venice Beach. This bum ass nigga, man. All right,
Laying
so
down at the table.
yeah,
and
this
shit.
nigga was a straight cat.
Oh,
like this
God.
nigga, like he was yoked and shit. You can tell he work out.
He was fat.
Okay, all right, man.
He was fat.
Whatever, man. But he had like tattoos
That's
and
the
shit. He had his
point,
little
the
hair
point.
braided or whatever. He had a little cute thing with him. She was fire. She wearing them butt pads, but that's different. We're gonna get to that at the end of it.
No way.
We gonna get to that in the end. Right? So it's me, Deshaun, and this our work crew. We're all
Right.
chilling, hanging out, right?
Right.
And when we walk in, we see them, and he looks at us, right? And he kind of sees us like, man, niggas, no competition. Like that's how his face looked. Like,
Right.
Good luck.
it's like whatever, nigga, you know. And they're talking a little bit. He's doing most of the talking. He's probably doing 93% of talking.
Right.
And she's just sitting there. Then this nigga pull out his phone. He gets on either FaceTime or
yeah.
like Snapchat Live or some shit, Instagram Live or some shit. And he leans back there in the booth. He leans back. He kicks his feet up. He kicks his feet up, yo. And he's like this. And then he's like, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And then he show her, and she's kind of like, hey.
Oh,
And then she like scratching her head, looking around and shit. And then Deshaun taps me, and he's like, hey man, she wants you, dog. And Deshaun has this thing where he will hype me up about a girl. I go talk to her. She has no fucking idea that I'm interested at all, and she'll curve me, and he will get a fucking kick out of it.
Jerk.
He's a fucking asshole.
Failure.
Yeah, but this time I had on my motherfucking aviator joints. I had my shades on, so she couldn't see that I was looking,
Oh.
and she was looking like a lot. And I was like, okay, you did me solid on that one. You did me
Okay.
solid. I didn't go talk to her though, but
no.
you did me solid. And like this guy was just a total fucking dickhead. Like it was
She probably
wild.
paid.
She probably did pay.
She probably paid.
She was annoyed as fuck though.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, literally, the guy proceeded to tell me the entire time that he thinks I was upset. And two, I was like, who the fuck does that? Like, who sits there, any man, period, who comments on a woman's weight that is not in a relationship with them and is really not asking for their advice should never do that
That's
shit.
wild.
But still, and then he was just like, you got this. I was like, boy, I got it.
Boy.
Like, it's cool. Don't ever call me. Don't ever see me.
Boy,
And I
that's
saw him
crazy.
in Target, and then he was all like, oh, so you're the... He's like, so how do you feel about, like, not going out with me ever again? I was like, I feel fine. Like,
Pretty sure I made
my
that
life
decision.
is good.
What the fuck?
Yes, it was
Oh, shit.
crazy. The dates that I've been on have been freaking crazy. It makes me just realize why I'm antisocial. I'm like, this shit is just not. This is not it. This is just not it.
That shit is crazy, man. Yeah, so like, that was my first time ever witnessing anything like that on Venice Beach. Like that shit was insane. Like, it looked like something off like Love and Hip Hop. Like, you know, they have like the dramatic music in the background, and the girl is like sitting in the green room, and it's like playing in the background. She's like, this fucking guy, like she's all pissed off, but on screen, she's actually kind of like, how can I get out of here?
She was staring out the window.
Bro,
wait,
it was
so she had
crazy.
butt pads?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
How do you know that?
So I seen her face, right, and I don't know, I just something about her face was like, oh, she got a fat ass. I'm sure she probably got a fatty on her. And then Deshaun,
you can tell by that the face.
Yeah, sometimes. Like she had like a little chubbier face.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like she had like little chubby cheeks.
Yeah, I got
and I was like, okay, she probably thick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Deshaun is sitting like there's one person in between us, and he's sitting on the side, so he has an angle so he can see her legs, and he's like, no, bro, she got a long butt. And I was like, man, I don't give a fuck about none of that, bro. You see how pretty she is, nigga? She's fire. Like, man, she bring a long butt my way. You know?
What?
So look, this is what's so crazy. They get up, and I'm juiced. I got my shades. I had to take my shades off. I put them back on. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in full creep mode. Full creep mode. I'm like, hell yeah, I already. But look, it's not really that creepy because I thought she liked me. So like, how creepy is it?
She did.
You know what I mean? Maybe that's a different topic we'll get into, like what's actually creepy and what's not. But so I put my shades on, and she walked by, and she hit the corner, and she had on butt pads under her leggings, and I felt so bad. I was like, wow.
She was trying to cover it up,
and she put her hand over her like the pads. Okay, so you know how like when some women wear bras that are too big, you can kind of see the layer of the bra. Yeah. You know that it was like that for her butt.
Oh.
And that shit was crazy, and I felt bad because I was all like, damn, like
your man got it like that.
You did all of this shit probably for him, and this nigga sitting up here looking like a jackass.
Yeah.
You probably paid.
He wore sweatpants.
And now you got to do the walk of shame in front of 8 guys
who know you got
a butt pad.
Yeah.
Like that's wild.
That poor woman, but that's the problem with women today. Why would you allow a man to make you do that shit?
Crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Put on butt pads or go on a date?
To make you feel so bad that you need to put on butt pads.
Now that leads to the next question: like, does she feel insecure about herself already? Or did he do something and say, your butt ain't big enough and I ain't paying for shots?
So if she already felt insecure and then her man didn't like nourish that insecurity and make her feel good about herself but made it worse, that's his fucking fault.
Yeah.
If you know your woman is insecure about something and you don't nourish that, you make it worse, that's ridiculous.
That shit was insane.
That is ridiculous.
That shit was crazy. I couldn't believe it. That was the first time I ever seen butt pads look that bad. I probably seen butt pads before
all the time,
but it probably
really?
looked good.
I didn't think they were that common. I see them all the time in stores. I'm like, who fuck? Just go to the gym.
That's a lot of work. You can just slide something.
But I mean, there are women that just have that are wearing shit that they shouldn't be.
See, yeah, but the thing is though, it's like, yeah, okay, she don't have a fat ass, whatever.
That's
right?
whatever. It doesn't matter.
But like,
she's
wear what compliments you. Like, you don't have to put on those little ass leggings if you don't feel like you will fill it out the way you want to.
No,
right.
I'm not saying that you have to have a fat ass to wear leggings. I'm not saying that. But it's like,
but it'd be nice. No,
but yeah, but it's like why are you even perpetrating like that, and you don't even gotta do that.
Well,
don't lie.
So I feel like some of that is because of the standard. Like, so when I was dating a guy who was a bodybuilder, it was much a competition. He was always competing, and it was competing with me, competing with others who looked the best all the time, and it was very annoying. And it was just like, look, dude, like, you're a man, like, I'm a woman, like, there's a difference in how we're supposed to look. But I always felt like I had to be on all the freaking time. Yeah. Always had to have my nails done, hair done, everything, because I'm going out with a guy who looks like a freaking god. Like, what am I supposed to do at that point? Yeah. Like, I can't look like crap. Like, that doesn't generally happen. Yeah. But I think that sometimes that's where we get caught up in this. We have to continuously look good. And I always tell people, like, when they date me, I'm a sweatpants and t-shirt kind of girl, like, 90% of my life. So if you ever see me dress up, just be proud. But that's never going to happen, like, every single day.
You're chilling.
Like, every single day I'm going to look like a freaking bum, and I hope you can deal with that. Because, like, that's just part of who I am, my personality. Now you're not going to make me feel bad about it. Before, probably. But now that I'm older, I'm like, you can't tell me anything that I don't already know.
Yeah, I feel that.
I still get it all the time to this day. Where you going? Just because I put on jeans. Like,
I do that
where
sometimes.
you
I'm
going,
like, where you going?
I'm going to the store in jeans. You don't wear jeans.
That shit happens with me and him all the time, and it's the opposite.
Sure.
He likes to dress down, and I won't say dress up, but I just like to put clothes on. I just like doing it.
Right.
And he'll ask me all the time, "Nigga, why you getting pretty?" But it's like, I mean, it just feels good.
Right? Like seriously, like I brushed my hair today, guys. I'm good.
I just felt good.
That's the first thing I said
was
today
inspired.
when I pulled up to the house. He was standing outside, babe, and I said, "Why you so pretty, dog?"
I was like, I just wanted to wear some colors today.
I
It was
mean, when
nice.
people feel like more like, I don't know, like accomplished, like they got their day started. I'm like, dude, I got up and had coffee. Like, dang,
Yeah.
it started already.
I woke up.
Right?
I'm
Like, we
good.
should be happy about this.
Jeans is not the wave. Not
So
for
is there
me.
anything in your dating in your dating relationship that you kind of like require? Or they're like, "Whoa, yeah, she's a
I feel like everything's starting to change now. Like before, it was. I had like easy criteria, whatever. We're gonna date. It's gonna be cool. We'll work it out. But now I'm kind of like you. Like you said, you don't want to have kids, so that needs to be established from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm the exact opposite. I want to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be established in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I also need to know that you are somewhat independent and not relying on me for everything.
Somewhat independent in what way? What
If
are you
it's a
okay
fucking
with them
spider, you're
relying-
not gonna call me from work and say, "Babe, there's a spider here. I need you to come home and kill it."
Okay.
Like I need some sort of something. I mean, fuck.
If it's
Like,
a big spider, I might leave it for you.
like,
Look, babe, that spider's
Shit,
big.
Shit, I'm gonna be in the next room with a big ass spider. Hey, Sean, man. Hey, bro, that's a big ass tarantula in here, dog. Get the gun.
Right? It's
Bring
your
hey, man,
life.
you know you got all the bullets in your room.
Bring the
You're like, it's
gun.
your life, not
Oh,
mine.
Look, dog.
Yeah.
Look, dog. You
Like-
like creatures and shit, man. I'm out of this, man. I'm good,
fucking
bro.
playing with this
No.
shit.
I'm alright, man.
No.
You want a photo edited? Hit me up, dog. But with that other shit, that's all you.
Yeah, like, I would like to be with a strong woman, with like Judy said, like with a backbone. Like that'll be amazing to me. I don't want to, babe, take care of me. And also, they need to be okay with the fact that if she got a job and I got a job, like we can't talk all day. Like I still stick to that. I don't want to. I wake up if we live together. I wake up and give you a kiss with your mustache breath, and go on about our day. And I don't want to talk to you till I get home.
Seriously.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm talking to you all fucking day. By the time I get home, I know what your day was. Now what we going to talk about? We going to watch a movie and fucking go to bed? That's boring. I want to have some time where we can sit down together and eat and have a great conversation about our days. I want to hear about your day, and I want you to hear about mine. This would be the time where there's no phones.
Okay.
Like, you could be on the phone for the rest of your fucking night. But when we get home and we have that 30 minutes to an hour, hopefully it's better and it lasts longer, but I need to have that I missed you today in order to continue the growth.
So, but what if they're what if they're having a bad day or something and they need to talk to you?
Then I bet you they can't wait to get home and tell me all about it.
So if they're having an issue in the moment, they can't reach you in that moment. They need to decide that, hey, I can't call my boyfriend for the issue that I'm having or the emotional support. Because there's sometimes where we do like need to know what to do or advice, or we're having an issue and we need to know. So you're going to be that person we can't go to in that moment. We have to wait till we get home.
And that there's a difference from that. Depends on how severe the situation is.
Okay.
Like, oh fuck, if I forgot my lunch, oh, I'm having a terrible day. I need to call him now.
Did you just go through puberty?
Huh?
Nothing.
Yesterday. It just hit. But I mean, you can. If it's an emergency, I just got fired. I was just sexually harassed by this dude. Someone disrespected me. Like that's a completely different situation.
Got it, okay.
If another girl was talking shit, or babe, the school called. You closer, deal with it. Like that's different.
Got it.
But I mean, if it's fucking, oh, I smashed my finger in the door today, and now I'm hurting now, and
That's when the strong, independent woman would come into play because they won't call you about that little shit. Is that what you're trying
and
to say?
it's not that I don't want to be bothered with it, but it's like I want that build up every day. You know, like I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be okay. I just called to see if it's gonna piss you off, but it did, so bye. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get that. I feel like that's what type of relationship that I'm gonna be in. She always fucking around, and I'm always fucking around all the time. But that is where the strong, independent backboned woman comes into place, like, I can handle my shit. I'm gonna be okay. But when I come home, you're gonna get an earful of all that shit. And I don't mind sitting there listening.
It's funny because I feel like a lot of guys want the complete opposite. Maybe not complete opposite, but they wanna hear from you throughout the day, and then get home and kind of like hang out and like chill, and not hear the whole earful of
the day,
all the little shit that got on your nerves throughout the day.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think that would kind of annoy me if every time we talk, it's like the shit that annoyed you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because yeah, we remember the good things, but the things that annoy us is what sticks the most. Like that shit is just, oh, this motherfucker getting on my fucking nerves. And then they come and tell you. It's like, God damn, like no one wants to hear negative information.
When you just walk through the door.
When you just walk through the door. That's like when you were a kid and you at home, you hanging out, your mom come home yelling. Right. Like, Mom, what are you yelling for? I was just having a good time.
Calm down, please.
The house was so peaceful until you got here.
Yeah.
Right.
And it would be nice to get some sort of a heads up. That's why I guess I feel good to talk about this. Like, if my lady had a bad day, she get off work on her way home. It's like, I had a terrible day. Then now I gotta.
And then you could do something.
You can bring some
You
flowers.
can bring something to kind of
wine.
lighten the heavy load of all the downfall that's gonna fall onto your sunshining day.
I got this gin. I know you wanted some. Go ahead. Tell me about your day, baby. Tell me about your day, baby. Lay it on me.
That for me, it depends on the situation that I'm in. So my job, I was pretty flexible with the communication. And me with my social like anxiety part, I'd rather probably text you during the day than at night. Like at night, I kind of tend to like want to be left alone and just kind of like whatever. Right. So the guy that I'm talking to, I didn't mean to say that. So the guy I'm talking
Disclaimer.
Right. Sorry. It's long distance. So and with the time change, so he texts me first, and then we text throughout the day. But there are periods of time where I don't hear from him, or I don't talk or I don't reply or anything like that for a couple of hours, and then I reply back. Yeah. But we have to have that communication. Communication is key because of the fact that we're of the time difference and whatever. But I've been in relationships where he's at work, he can't talk, and that's fine. And I send messages saying, hey, I was thinking about you or whatever. But like I'm not gonna have a full on conversation with this person either. So I think it kind of just depends on the person.
For sure.
And what you're looking for in the compatibility of the relationship as well. I don't necessarily know by the time I get home if I want to talk to anybody. So like, you know what? You might have to just do you and I'll just listen or whatever, but I may not have anything to say at that point.
Of course, it's not our job to speak like I'm listening to you, and if I have something to say, I'll say it. But what I failed to mention was that criteria is for like if we live together. If I constantly see you all the time and we're talking all fucking day, when I get home I really don't want to hear you. I don't want to talk to you at all. Now I don't want to do shit. Like, don't talk to me. That's if we live together. If we don't live together, long distance, it's completely different. And it's rough for me because if I continue to work nights and I get with someone who works days, I gotta bug her all fucking day at work, and she gotta bug me all day at work because that's the only time we get to talk.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of rough when your work schedules don't line up. Day and night, at least.
I don't know how people live together in the Bay Area. You live in this one room, and it's your whole apartment.
Yeah, it's lit.
I can't do that. I need you to be on one side of the house. I'm going to be on the other side of the house, and we'll, like, hang out later. But as of right now, like, go over there and go over there.
Yeah, they can go to the other side. I won't even know they're here.
Right? That's perfect. That's freaking perfect. I need space. I need you to go away and have a life and do your own thing.
And that's one thing that we said for sure. Like, when me, Deshaun, and Haptamu agreed to move in, was to get a spot with space.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what
100%.
I mean? Like, this space is like Deshaun's own space, like away. You know what I mean? I got my own away space. If we ever want to link up, we'll go to each other's room or we hang out in the living room.
Right.
But space is mandatory.
Oh my gosh, 100%. 100%. I don't know how people are like, I want to be all up under my dude all day. I'm like, are you kidding me? That fool. I get mad if you call me twice in a row. Like, go away. Like, go do something.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it.
I think, maybe the people that have those like attachment issues, maybe they didn't get that type of support when they was young.
Maybe.
You know, so maybe now it's like, now they can take control of how much attention they get when they get it. So they want to, be up under it. I personally can't do the up under it all day.
Oh my God.
I can't do it.
No, I cannot live in a 1-bedroom with my significant other.
You got a living room though.
I need like a 2, maybe 3 bedroom.
You need a get away from me space.
Yeah. Well, just because I want you to be able to like, I feel like you come home and you guys are just like all up under each other. And me, like, as a person, I need space. I'm very much like, I don't know. Like, I'm not very much a girl in the sense of like, oh, I need all these things and all this attention, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, go away. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Call me at the end of the week. Like, crap. Like, it's enough.
I personally think hanging out with someone or being around someone after you miss them is so much better than you know, an everyday constant. Because you naturally take advantage of the time.
Right.
And when I say that, it means like you're not as interested in things that you would be, like, you know, like
your phone.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like, whatever, we'll talk later, man. I'll see you in a minute. You
right.
know? But when you don't see someone for X amount of time, you got so much shit to catch up on.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Me and Deshaun, we spend a lot of time together. You know, like we work together and we live together. We work the same hours most of the time.
Right.
But when our schedules shift, let's say I work nights and he works mornings, or he works morning, I work night. It's kind of like, man, I ain't seen my nigga Roy in hella long.
Right.
So like any little time we get in between, it's like, yo, I gotta tell you so much shit, dog. Like, so much shit went down at work, bro.
It could be one day, too.
Yeah, it could be like, it could.
Oh, separation anxiety.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, we'll spend a lot of time kind of like, I know he be thinking in his head, like, man, I can't wait to get away from this motherfucker. Because I for sure be thinking, like, all right, man, look, I'm about to go do this. Yeah. I'll hit you later, bro. I'm about to go run off and do some shit. You know
okay,
bye. Okay, bye. You know, but yeah, you definitely need that time away, and it just makes everything better. It makes conversation better. You know, it makes a lot of shit. It's just interaction.
Better.
Yeah.
Super intense.
I think that
definitely. That's why I didn't throw that in there, because
right.
this is about
the shot.
Sorry.
I definitely think that my partner needs to be able to sit with me in a room and not say freaking shit. Let's lay on the bed and not say anything, but watch TV or like do something. Just say nothing. Just absolutely say nothing. There are too many people that want to have a conversation. You just look at them like, shut the fuck up. It's not time to have a conversation.
During the movie.
Seriously.
Or the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, one thing. Discussion.
The thing that irritates me the most is when I'm watching TV and someone's playing memes on their phone hella loud. It's like it's on, and then I just hear.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? And and I relate that to talking during movies or during TV shows. Just, I love you, but just shut up. It would be nice.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, like the person doesn't really give a fuck about what's happening around.
Yeah.
It's a real selfish thing to do.
Correct.
It definitely is. And like when they, especially like if like let's say you come home from work and you're like, look, I need 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I can talk to you. I need that like 20 minutes to an hour before I come talk to you. And then, hey, how are you?
So your off work is most people's starting work.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Because it's like in the morning time, I don't want to fucking talk to nobody.
Nah.
Like, I don't want to do shit.
And I know he don't, so I talk to him on purpose sometimes.
Right. I'm definitely a morning person now that I've like been getting up consistently at such a early. You just kind of switch it.
Yeah.
So the later my day goes, and especially since my job is to talk to people all day long, by the time I leave work, I don't want to talk to anybody anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm worn out, and like I don't want to hear it. I don't want to do anything. Don't talk to me. Let me work out or do whatever, and then I can come talk to you. But don't do it.
Do you think that's why most people who are in a relationship and they live together, I notice this a lot, they'll bring their gym clothes to work and then go right to the gym after work, then go home? I always thought it was like, okay, we got kids, so if I go home, I can't get away from the kids, so I gotta do it now. But I feel like that's a decompressed time.
That's my me time. That's my time to think, to work. Like if I'm having an issue, to work through my issue, to do what I need to do. And it generally, one, it'll wear you out, right? Correct. But then also, I feel better. I can think about, I can handle anything else that's happening that needs, like if I need to be emotionally available for somebody, okay, now I can do that. If you come home and attack me immediately, I'm going to be like, dude, fuck off. Like,
oh, well,
you
got a dog.
Right?
That's that summertime mom come home from work yelling, man. I don't know if y'all ever deal with that shit before.
No.
But that shit
She
is
mad about
rough.
her day.
That
and I did nothing.
Oh, man. Yeah, moms come home from work pissed off.
It's my white household thing, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's crazy?
And you better not forget to take the chicken out the freezer.
Oh, facts. Oh, facts. You didn't take the fucking food out the freezer?
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you to do that shit before you went to school today?
Yeah, yeah.
Now I get an ass whooping.
Yep.
And you know the ass whooping coming because the conversation goes, and then you know the ass whooping on the way.
Seriously, I no, not at all.
Yeah. So like in a lot of like black households, I don't know if this still is a thing. I don't think this is a
And
thing
in Mexican
anymore.
households, I've witnessed it.
Yeah, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. It was,
Man.
I know it's in Latino households.
Made me feel like
So-
I'm at home.
So like when you get out of school, you know, like you would normally get out of school before your parents are there. So they would have the dinner in the freezer, you know. So you would take out the meat out of the freezer, and so to thaw out by the time they get home around 7, 8 o'clock.
Like freshly cooked?
No, it is freshly cooked, but it's
like-
frozen, like frozen chicken thighs.
Oh, got
frozen,
it, got
like,
it, got it.
See,
got
if
it.
you get out of school, you gotta take it out as soon as you get out of school.
Yeah, so that
Got
way by
it.
the time they get home, it's already thawed out. But if you
Oh.
don't, then your ass is grass. Because they get
Right.
home at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and they're like, yo, you had one fucking job. And that's all they're thinking on their head.
Yeah.
Not knowing that you a kid and you 11, you got hella basketball to go play, booty tag to go get into. You got a bunch of shit
I had
to
to
do
go
too.
get it on the way, baby.
Yeah, but, you know, and that's dinner. Like, you know what I mean? Like, pops is going to make dinner because the meat's supposed to be thawed out.
Yeah,
But if you miss that, then...
Oh no, my mom. No way. Seriously?
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
my
That's
mom
the
caught
thing.
me a few times because
Okay, no. So I think my mom no. So she was like, I'd come home and she'd be like, we'll be out there at the little bus stop. Come and get me. I'm so excited.
Damn.
I'm so
Y'all ain't got
didn't
ice
walk?
cream and shit.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just
you
hang
didn't
out
walk.
and play,
Oh, mom
like-
picked you up from the bus stop.
That was my best friend. Like absolutely.
Hey, all we heard was I ain't one of your little friends, and now they want to kick it with us, but it's fine.
No, my friends would come over and hang out with my mom instead of me sometimes. I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
So
Your
that
mom's fire.
was your house.
That was my house.
That was your house. Okay.
My house
Okay.
was cool. I mean, like, my mom and dad were super supportive, and they were awesome. Like, I have 4 younger siblings, so I automatically had 4 best friends, and I tortured all of them because I was the oldest.
I mean, my sister
And
and shit.
that's definitely what I can do. But, I mean,
Definitely
literally,
what I can do.
I can't do it now. So they're all taller than me, so it's like, man, I can't fuck with you anymore.
It was
Like,
fun while it lasted.
right? But no, absolutely. Like, I see the differences. Like, there was this lady at the nail place, and this little black young mom, and she was, like, yelling at her kids, and I was sitting there laughing because, like, my mom never did that. Like,
Yeah.
and she was like, girl, this is great birth control. I'm sitting there thinking, fuck.
Oh,
Like, yeah,
shit.
you right?
I can't sit up here and slander moms because my mom wasn't the type to
She wasn't mean.
she wasn't mean. My mom wasn't mean, but like if she was annoyed though or frustrated at something though, I know. I
Oh,
knew.
absolutely. My
You know
mom would,
what I
like,
mean?
run through all of our names, like, all of them, just to, like, get the right one. And be like, bitch,
Yup.
do you not
Yeah,
know who
yeah,
I am?
And I would always get, what's your name?
Yes, absolutely. Doesn't even matter. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
for real. It's like, wait, I'm getting this ass whooping off of them 3? Like, I
Right?
didn't even have nothing to do with
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
Straight up.
Oh, man. The
That's-
memories.
yeah.
That's how
The
it was.
memories.
Yeah.
I would always get, you the big brother, you supposed to get them
Yep.
in line, figure it out. And
Yep.
then in my mind, I'm like, cause you fucking lazy. That's why. You fucking lazy.
My mom would always be like, you guys are the reason I drink. I'm like, shit,
Oh.
I know. Like,
She,
let me tell you, I was a terrorist. I fucking know.
yeah, I mean, we were all
Oh,
bad
man.
at some point.
That was a good time. So.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
was the best time to be a kid. To be a kid now sucks.
It's trash, man. You gotta be wearing Supreme. You gotta wear Supreme t-shirts.
Yeah, if
You
I
gotta
went to
have
school just
Louis
like I
wallets. I remember when and this has nothing to do with dating. I know we kind of veered off right a little bit.
That's fine.
But I remember like back when
Wait,
we
we've been drunk.
when we were kids, like the cool shit to do was have a super soaker.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like and have a fucking razor scooter.
Yeah,
Or
when
like
they
a
first came out.
mongoose or something, and that's
Yeah.
all you needed. You
Yeah,
got that
oh,
shit for
yeah.
Christmas, and you're set all year.
Oh, absolutely.
You're good.
Oh,
But-
absolutely.
And even with clothes, like when I got into high school, even with clothes, like fake Jordans and like fake Nikes with all the crazy colors and then like the fake
the
fucking
team bullshit.
Jabos and all that shit, like big ass hoodies. This shit wasn't super expensive, and it was cool. Like if
Yeah.
you had it on, it was tight.
Yeah.
But like now,
Oh, no.
yo, to be a cool kid now,
Oh.
bro, you gotta damn near be rich.
Oh.
Like it's crazy.
That, you gotta have a job.
So-
You gotta have a job. Yes.
So I went to basically predominantly white high schools and middle schools and things like that. So when I was in elementary school, I mean, these kids know each other. So we all would, like, on Friday and Saturday nights go outside and play, like, hide and go seek, tag, like, things like that, like, as a group. And then obviously as you get older, right? I went to one of the richest high schools, and these kids had, like, brand new Beamers and things like that. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, I have, like, what am I gonna do? Like, this is crazy. These girls are getting, like, nose jobs for, like, their Sweet 16. Like, I had a girl that was on Sweet 16 at my school.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like, I went to Westlake High School, so we had Nick Foles, Drew Brees, like, all those people went to my high school. And so I'm just sitting here like, all right, well, fuck. And these girls, it wasn't like these girls were, like, these girls and guys were incredibly smart too. They were beautiful and incredibly smart. Like, my sister took all AP classes, everything, had a 4.0, and there are people there who retook the SAT because they missed it by, they didn't get a perfect score. Like, it was super competitive. And I'm sitting here like, look, I got a B, I got a C, I'm so proud.
Fuck that.
I did that.
Yes, I passed this test today, guys.
Like, I'm just trying to pass this motherfucker.
So it wasn't only like you were, like, clothes-wise and things like that, but you were competing academically as well. And these kids were smart, and you were just like,
you don't want to be the dumb
kid.
No,
you don't want to be the dumb kid. Like, it was embarrassing.
Crazy,
like, it was completely embarrassing. I was like, I know I'm not dumb. I just don't want to compete with any of you people. I don't care that much about school in this format. Like, this isn't where I care. So
I do think like, that's kind of like that will it'll help you, like, in the long run though. Right. If you're competing with academics, like, I feel like that will it will force you to be smart. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It'll force you to really dive into it.
Correct.
Because you don't want to be the dumb kid. Like, I never heard that. Like, the dumb kid from where I'm from is, like, literally, like, a dumbass. Like, he's legit a dumbass. Like, he's setting himself on fire. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, like, no kids that I grew up with ever got teased for grades. Maybe if you got, like, all F's, it's kind of like, man, shut your stupid ass up, nigga. Like, maybe like that, but to the level you're saying,
you're a dumbass if you got, like, a 3.5. You're like, wait, what? Like, I'm not dumb. I just got, like, you take this anywhere else, and I'm incredibly smart, you know? But that school did set you up for a lot of things, like hard work. It taught you how to apply yourself and, like, really study and pursue, you know, stuff school-wise. I felt like I was more prepared for college in high school than ever.
That's tight.
But did I care the first year?
Yeah.
I mean...
not my cup of tea.
But my thing was, I never thought I was going to go for academics. My thing was sports, which is what I went for. So I just wanted to do what I had to do so I could play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to, like, be smart. Now, if I go back, would I be smart? Absolutely. But... that wasn't
you were trying to shine on the field.
Yeah,
like,
I wasn't trying to shine in the academic. Yeah,
I
knew that wasn't going to get me as far, at the time at least, I thought, as sports was going to do.
No, that makes total sense.
Man, that's some shit.
I just coasted.
Really?
You coasted? I definitely coasted too.
Pretty much. When I got to high school, I came from, I went to Woodside High School. I came from Oakland, and the white girls liked me because I lived in Oakland. They all wanted to go. And they would all do my homework. Yeah.
Okay, so you're one of those.
I didn't ask them to do it, though.
So...
I just let them do it.
Do you think that the way you're, like, for me, because I believe in hard work and things like that, I also carry that into my relationships, as I carry hard work and I value, you know, that my partner can work and has goals and wants to go out and get what they want. Yeah. So something like that was always easy for them. I've noticed that that's how they are in their relationships. If it's not easy, they're like, I'm piecing.
Right.
So do you think that played anything for you as well?
I think it did when I was 19, fresh out of high school. I mean, I just had people do whatever I wanted to do. But sports really put me in a perspective where I have to do the work.
That's the reason I am the way I am now.
So then are those things important to you in a partner? Because it's extremely important to me that my partner knows how to work and knows how to get up and handle. Lazy shit. Yeah, I don't do very well with that, like, at all. I'm like, really? You're gonna sit here and complain about being fat, but you're not gonna go put in the work for doing? Like, don't do that. Yeah. Then don't complain about it.
I'm unapproachable at work. I'm an asshole.
Okay.
Yeah. when I see that you're lazy, if you're working, I see you can pull your own, then I'm nice to you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're lazy, I just don't fuck with you, period.
So in other words, you're saying that none of us at work take care of our own shit.
Yeah. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Totally, you just.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I'm saying.
All right. I'm just waiting for you to be nice to someone at work.
I feel like I'm nice to you now. And I'm nice to Jonathan.
Well, you're at work to work. We're not at work to be friends, generally. Well, so
I know.
I'm the youngest in my office, and I get criticized a lot in my office for my views. For example, I had made a comment that said, I had said that sex doesn't equal love. Because they're talking about, back in the day. And I'm like, well, sex doesn't equal love.
No.
And
No,
they
it
were
doesn't.
like,
No.
well, it's not something that you can just throw around. I go, well, I didn't say that. I'm not saying you have to be careless with it. But animals just fuck to procreate. Like, what is the issue? Like, we're the only species that attaches
Exactly.
emotions to it. So, yeah, like, doesn't mean I love you. It is an expression maybe of how I feel when I'm in a relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean I love you.
No.
And they just, like, reamed me. They were just like...
Older women?
I have 3 older women there, and then my doctor. And, I mean, they all have families. And one of them's a single mom, so you'd think that she would, like... Understand. And the other lady is a single mom, and she gets me a lot. Me and her are really close. We have the same kind of understanding. But, like, all these other people just... I don't get it. It's like I speak, and they just look at me like you're stupid. And I'm like, I'm actually not dumb. You're just fucking
you're just
old.
closed-minded.
Yeah, you're just old.
Probably because you're younger. Public service announcement, now that we're talking about sex. Coachella, there was 1,100 people infected by herpes due to sexual activity. Next.
Shut up,
Outbreak,
seriously?
yes. Yeah. Yep, that shit was
1,100 people.
crazy. Yep. And I'm still trying to see where those Coachella photos are now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where are
people-
they at?
Yeah, because y'all drag out these Coachella photos for a year.
And I ain't
All of a
seen
sudden, nobody posting nothing now.
See, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you can't
It was an
throw
outbreak.
it around. But some people are heavy. You can't throw it around, period. Either way. You just gotta pass it real close.
Stupid.
I'm 250. Ain't nobody gonna throw this meat around this motherfucker. You gotta ask me to go over there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but yeah, no, you're right. Sex does not mean that you are in love, and that's how most guys get off with cheating. I've noticed now that the only way to keep a person in a relationship is you gotta either one, beat their ass, or you gotta cheat on them. And I don't want to live that life. I don't want to cheat, and I don't want to beat ass. I want to smack ass and love it, caress butt.
All right.
To keep, yeah. I know you didn't say that to get anyone to agree.
No.
But I think to keep a relationship, you have to have effort. Number one,
Correct.
You have to be interested. Number two, and you have to be willing to sacrifice, like your pride or time with other things, or your emotions, like stuff like that.
Right.
I think those 3 things is what will really keep a relationship together.
But people don't want to do that because people are selfish and they want to think of themselves.
That's
and then
too
they're all
hard.
like, oh, well, you know what? I don't feel like I should have to give this up. Well, did you realize that I gave up all this shit to be here to have this conversation? Like, don't do that.
And that's how the arguments all start.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like I gave up sports to be with you and this damn kid. And it's like
Yeah.
you gotta make that decision, or that you gotta have that conversation. I should say.
And I would say, like, don't make the sacrifice if you genuinely can't accept the sacrifice that you made.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't even, like, if you know you can't do that,
Mhm.
it's gonna bug you forever. Don't even do it, because
Right.
it's gonna end up coming out eventually anyway. Whether it's a big argument or if it's little side disses and like subliminals.
You
So like,
bottle
don't
shit
even,
up.
don't even do it.
I think that sometimes, like, I've made the sacrifice and then it goes unappreciated. And that is my problem. My problem isn't that I made the sacrifice.
Oh, I see.
That my problem is that I did something and you just don't appreciate what I had to do for this to happen for you. And that, to me, is an issue. If you can't sit here and say, I know my partner gave up this game to spend time with me, but I'm going to come home 3 hours late, like, she might as well went to the game because you're going to be 3 hours late. Like, you don't have any respect for the fact that she's doing something for you.
Right.
So that, to me, is the issue. I don't mind making the sacrifice, but I need to know that you understand and appreciate what I had to do.
Correct. And I guess playing devil's advocate to that, have you made it known that this situation that you're doing is important to them. Not just, hey, I'm going to miss a game so we can hang out. Like, kind of that way. Like, if you love soccer and you tell him, hey, I'm going to miss a game so we can make it to the movie, but he doesn't know how much you love soccer or how much playing soccer means to you, and then you miss the game to go to the movies, but he doesn't say, babe, I appreciate you missing the game, because in his mind, or vice versa, in her mind, whatever, they don't know that this actually means something to you.
So I don't think every sacrifice needs acknowledgement.
But I hear what you're saying, though.
I think that sometimes it does, obviously, but I feel like anytime that you're in a relationship, you should know your person's interests. So if you know that's important, like you should already know that. You should know that that's an important thing to that person.
Correct.
So if that person's giving up my time, then it means something, that they care about me, that they value us, they value this relationship. If I'm giving something up to spend time with you, I expect you to not make it a fight. I expect you to have a good time.
Right.
And I expect you to make it worth it, because I gave up doing something I love for you.
Correct.
Because I love you. So I think that is kind of where it's at. So you don't have to say anything, but you can make sure that it's fun. You can make sure that we're not fighting, you know, things like that. That shows me, okay, he respects me and my time.
Yeah.
True that. And time respected is always, or
huge-
should be appreciated. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. If I'm going to miss work and miss out on all this money to be made to spend time with you, there better not be a hitch the whole freaking time.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I can go make money, and that to me is way
Yeah.
more fun than sitting here and dealing with this.
Yeah.
Arguing and all that bullshit.
Yeah, true that. True that.
100%.
Everyone's time is different for everybody. Like me, my time, I enjoy watching TV. And if I'm watching a whole season of Fixer Upper and I didn't watch 13 episodes, and then someone wants me to do something on the 14th episode, for some reason, the one I've been waiting to watch, and then I go and I'm irritated the whole time. It's like I could have been fucking in my bed watching Fixer Upper.
Right.
And everyone's time is different.
Absolutely.
Yeah. As me, my time is kind of Netflix, like just chilling. That's the time that
Best fucking time in the world.
Yeah, like that's my shit. Just kicking back, watching Netflix or YouTube. Actually, I'm more YouTube than I am Netflix.
What do you watch?
Oh, yeah. I watched this show. It's called Mega Stories,
Okay.
and it's a Grand Theft Auto, right? But it's reenacted, so it's like a storyline. It's like a Grand Theft Auto storyline with this street comedian doing voiceovers in the background. It's nerdy as shit. It's super nerdy. You know what I mean? But it's fucking hilarious. It's like gangsta nerd shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, I can't even explain it. Like, you would literally have to see it. It's fucking hilarious. So, like, that's my own time. Like, you know what I mean? Watching, like, shit like that, YouTube videos. Sometimes it's, like, sneaker shit or clothing shit. Like, little stuff like that. It's my time. So, if I'm giving up that shit to go eat, do something with you, and you get on my fucking nerves, then I'm pissed.
So does your time change during the week than versus the weekend? Because for me, during the week, I'm not going to probably see anybody. Now, the weekend, you got to convince me to leave my room.
It's a placebo.
Right.
It does for me a lot. Like, when the weekends hit, in the back of my mind, it's like, I don't want to do nothing. I want to be able to wake up, lay in my bed for 4 hours, and then not do nothing. That's me Thursday. Like, this weekend going to be good.
Right.
But me, my fat ass, it's like, I should probably go to the gym. It's right there. I can get that out of the way. Oh, I should probably cook. I'm pretty sure VELL hungry. How time are we? Oh, we can't eat pork. Oh, fuck. Maybe we should barbecue. We going to go outside. I'm going to sit out in the garage. And all this shit is going in my head Friday or Saturday morning when we get off work. It's like, I got so much to do now. And I never get that time to do nothing.
Unwind.
There hasn't been I do get that time to kind of unwind, but I haven't had a day where I've literally woke up and went to bed and did nothing the whole day.
That was me yesterday.
Just watch TV.
Yep.
Check my phone every few hours. Like,
Didn't even do that.
I yearn.
Didn't even do that. That didn't even make the list.
I yearn. But during the week, I'll get 4 hours possibly if I'm lucky to do what I want to do. Because we'll get home late and then I wake up late and then I got to fit in the gym. If I go, I got to fit in some sort of food. And then me time, I got to take a shower. So I don't have time to do anything besides for Deshaun during that time. But the weekend, I got pretty much a day and a half. We don't get up till 12 on Saturday sometimes. Now we can, what do you guys feel about
when there's issues in your relationship, or if there's confusion in the relationship, how do you feel about going to talk to other people about it rather than the person who's in your relationship?
Okay, who's gonna tackle this first?
I will. I'm all for it, to be honest.
Everyone should be for it. You're right.
I think it depends on the situation. Like, obviously, if it's, like, our sex life, I'm not going to go, like, scream it to everybody and be like, whatever. But I only talk to a select few people. So it's not like I'm asking random strangers. I'm asking people who have known me for a very long time who can sit here and say, you know what, girl, like, you were fucking in the line. Like, you're wrong. Like, you need to say you're sorry. Or, like, or they can say, hey, I understand where they're coming from. I understand you. So here might be a better way to say what you're trying to say if we're not clicking. But I am all for sometimes getting outside opinion, but only from your select few people. I'm not asking people who I don't. I'm not asking people I don't know. I'm asking people who know me the best. And sometimes I might even reach out to my partner's friend because they know them better and they might understand and have a different perspective. And so I might be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, I get that. Gotcha. So then I can go and say, you know what? I wasn't understanding. Now I think I understand. Let me explain to you what I think you're trying to say or whatever and fix the issue. Gotcha. But I mean, I'm also not going to go to somebody who, like, hates this person because that person isn't going to say anything positive anyway.
Yeah, you don't want to go to anyone that hates people in general.
Right. So, I mean...
yeah, ladies.
So it just kind of depends. But I'm all for it because there's sometimes where people are gaslighting and you're made to feel crazy or you're made to feel a certain way. And they're gaslighting so bad that you don't know. And so you're literally like, am I crazy? What's going on? What's happening? So this person could be like, dude, no, you're actually, this is normal. What they're doing is not normal. Yeah. Like, so I'm all for it. And I think as long as you do it properly, I think if you do it wrong, then absolutely, I'm not going to sabotage it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Uncle?
Me?
Uncle?
I honestly feel like, I can talk to people about the situation after I figured it out. Usually I always go to VELL all the time. In the beginning, middle, and end. All the time. But I can't soak in what other people are telling me because I already have what I'm going to do in my mind already. So they're just basically, it's almost like white noise.
So even if you're wrong?
Even if I'm wrong. I made the decision
even if you
wrong.
could be saved a conversation, you would still rather go ahead and make your own thing than hear somebody else give you something that could actually fix the problem.
Right. And my own thing is like me communicating with the significant other. And I think this is coming from the therapy aspect.
Okay.
So me and my ex went to therapy and she would have an issue and I would have an issue. She would tell people and I would tell people. And then we'll clash based on whatever happened. The only reason why I know therapy worked, we broke up, but evidently it was for the better. But it worked because it was someone there who heard from both of us at the same time. Because I can say, oh, they'll fucking da-da-da-da-da, whatever, he pissed me off, and I'm telling you this, right? And then you have no idea. I already told you, Vell's a nice person, all this stuff, but an altercation happened that I got mad at that he didn't know nothing about. But if he's not there to be like, yeah, well, I had to go to work or I stubbed my toe or whatever the case is, we're both not there to give both of our point of views, to give that third person a better idea on how to address the situation.
But I feel like a good friend
I see what you're saying.
would be able to decipher from anger and emotion versus actual situation. Like if you were to come to me and say that, but I have a friend who does that. And she comes to me and she's always like, and I have to sit here and say, well, was he going to work? What was he doing? What was da-da-da? And not just automatically back you up because then that makes no sense.
But at the same time, on the contrary, your friend's always going to have your back no matter what.
Not true.
Ugh.
Yeah.
My people who I call my friend can actually, they're always going to be there, but they will call me out on my shit and get mad at me and be like, dude, that shit's not cool. We're not, that you can't do that. That is somebody who's my friend, not somebody who's always going to take my side. Because I don't need somebody who's always going to take my side.
Taking your side and having your back is two completely different things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So then you might have been talking to the wrong people in the wrong situation, getting the wrong feedback.
Correct.
Because if a person is just always going to tell you, sugarcoat everything and say it nicely, isn't someone you need in your life. You need someone who's going to say, dude, no, you fucked up. Like, that is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that's not cool.
I don't think I'm a sugarcoater.
I don't think you are.
Okay.
What about you, young Roy? Little young whippersnapper.
So like I feel both of you guys, you know what I mean? And like I have a little bit of both. Like I kind of know what I'm going to do in the situation, but I like to hear other people's opinion because it can shift how I go about it.
So you're saying you agree with
Kind of what we're both saying.
Yeah. So like I already have my mind not necessarily made up, but like I kind of know what I want in the end. I just don't necessarily know how I'm gonna get there the best way. So like if I get other input on it, then I might take different routes. I'm still gonna go to the end of the tunnel,
Right.
but it's like I want to take it the smoothest way possible.
Right.
You know, like I
Right.
don't want to be arguing back and forth, and I try, if I have issues with someone, I try not to go to a person that's gonna automatically be on my side. You know, because like you guys were saying, like that's not
Helpful.
That's not helpful. You know what I mean? Like it, at the end of the day, you're gonna end up by yourself if that's
Correct.
You know. So I like to get input and also talk about it, because even in conversation, I learn new things about the situation after talking about it instead of just being in my own head. Because when I'm in my own head, that shit can run forever.
Oh, Lord.
And it's never any positives. I'm never giving myself any positives in these situations.
Sure.
It's all negative. Like, oh, fuck that shit. Like, man, she probably did do that. Oh, man, this whole fucking time, man, she probably was talking to somebody
We
else.
automatically
Like,
naturally go to the worst thing possible.
and it's a defense mechanism.
So I'm not
Oh,
crazy.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely do get advice elsewhere, but I only hold on to the things that I feel is worth holding on to.
Correct.
Right.
You know, like I try to put myself outside of my body and be like, well, if this was happening to them, what would I say to them?
Right. Like
As
your
we're
filter,
conversating, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I just do that
Yeah.
subconsciously, you know? So I definitely think that is beneficial to get advice elsewhere. And I also take into accountability like their track record with relationships and shit too. Like if they done some fucked up shit and they already know the consequence and they give me some type of input like, yo, you probably don't want to do that because it's going to end up like this.
Yeah.
Then, you know, like that'll be more valuable to me because like, oh, you've been through this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, you know, I'm not going to make those same mistakes you made.
Right.
That makes sense.
And then on contrary to that, it's like the person that's pissed off because of their past relationship might tell me, oh man, fuck that bitch. Like, fuck that shit. Do this, do that. I'm not going to listen to that because it's like,
It's all negativity.
your advice is coming from pain.
Right.
So I don't want no advice coming from pain. I
Right.
don't want that. I want the advice that's going to come from, you know, the growth.
Right.
You know? So that's kind of how I feel about it.
That makes sense. So there is no determining factor, it's good or bad to branch out.
I think it all just, you have to use your discretion, and I also think you have to evaluate. There's sometimes where all you just need is space. Like all you two need to do is come back and take a minute, and then you can hear each other and have a conversation.
That's where I'm at.
But if the conversation is continuing over an extended period, or it's a reoccurring issue,
Yeah.
you need to have a conversation with somebody else. Maybe your mom, someone who's older sometimes,
Yeah.
usually is generally a
I've
better
definitely taken shit
a
to my mom
better
before.
a better source. But I think it just kind of depends. You have to use your discretion. You have to be smart about it. Usually when I'm in arguments, I'm the logical one. I'm just sitting here like, I don't understand why you're yelling. Like, I don't get this. So sometimes I
Me too,
literally
bro.
have
Me
to
too.
like, because I'm not
I'm
the
the
emotion.
opposite.
I'm not the emotional one. I'm not the one that's gonna be like, if I actually raise my voice, I'm pissed. Like I'm normally pretty calm. I don't generally raise my voice. So if I raise my voice, there's a serious issue and you need to listen. But most of the time, they're the ones yelling, and I'm sitting here like, fuck,
Yeah, and that's what pisses them off the most.
right.
When you're not on the same
10.
level, you're not on 10 like them.
You don't want me to be on 10
And
is the issue.
I think it pisses people off because they probably see it as like you're not taking it serious. You're not mad.
Right.
When that's not the case, it's like
Right.
I'm thinking logically like
You're not invested
this
in it.
doesn't.
Like I
How
am.
does like 2 + 2 is forever going to equal 4?
Right.
Like
so how
forever.
did we get here?
So how like what
happened?
where are you, bro?
What
Where are you,
happened?
shorty? Like this is where I'm at. Where are you?
2
You know?
+ 2 without a condom equals 5. Could equal 6, but that's fine.
Well, it depends
Well,
on
I
what type of math you're doing. Can't divide after an orange is played.
That's. I mean, you know, you said you guys branch out to like your moms or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I would never branch out to my mom because I know her answer always. Well, Sean, you know, these girls are alright. You just gotta deal with it and just keep it pushing. So I started calling their moms, and I would get the same response from the last 3 girls I dated. Well, you gotta understand, she's a bitch. So you just gotta put it in perspective and figure out if you want to deal with it or not.
Damn.
Wow. That made me feel so much better. It was like, she is a bitch.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
if
then I
moms
can
are saying
address
that
it.
to you, then like,
Then you should get out that relationship.
Yeah.
If that mom is saying that about their daughter,
look at them now. Mission
Yeah.
accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
that does not sound like a good idea.
Yeah.
No.
But I mean, sometimes I do reach out to someone on the other person's side because they have a better understanding of that person.
Correct.
So I'm not a very forthcoming person when I'm in a relationship. It actually takes me quite a while to be open with you and because for me it's a level of trust.
Yeah.
Like sex is a level of trust. Opening up is a level of trust. And if I feel you can't handle that kind of trust, there is no way I'm gonna give you anything.
Right.
Because for me, my past isn't one that has a bunch of like rainbows. So for me to trust you and let you in is a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be frustrating to my partner that I'm not very forthcoming at first. But I also tell my partner, hey, I'm not very like open at first. It takes time. It takes trust because people don't stay. And I'm not going to give you, not necessarily something on me, but give you my history and explain to you my emotions and feelings. If you're not going to stay, like that doesn't make sense. So that can be very frustrating. I dealt with that in the last relationship. He was like, you're not very forthcoming. And I was like, well, I didn't really feel safe. There wasn't really a trust. So I didn't feel the need to say much to you except for the baseline because that's all I could trust you with.
Plus, if a podcast is gonna piss you off that much.
Yeah, because he was mad. He was very mad. And then he tried to be my friend.
Yeah.
We're not gonna give him too much shine on this podcast.
Fuck him.
You know what I'm saying?
Fucking
That's
bitch.
kind of bootsy, but whatever, man. Kick your feet up at Chili's and get on FaceTime.
Not even.
You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck. You also have to ask yourself too, though. Is that your fault or is that his fault that you don't feel safe or you don't trust him? Because I believe that's 100% his fault. You made it a point to let him know that, hey, I got a wall and it's pretty fucking high and very solid. I don't feel comfortable and I don't trust everybody. I'm letting you know this now. And what actions has he been taking, or what action would a woman have to take if a man is in that situation? Like, I feel like you gotta look at in the mirror and someone has to make you feel comfortable if they want to be invested in your situation.
I definitely agree. I think that, but I also have to be willing to allow you to do that. I can't just keep cutting your knees off as well. I have to allow you to do that. But I also have to, on my part, I have to assume that not everybody is going to run away. So, you know, if I'm in a relationship with somebody and it's been a year and I'm still feeling that way, I have to also look and say, did I allow this person to do anything, or did this person just really not do anything?
Yeah.
I think that because it's not all on the other person. It is on me as well to say, you know, it's okay. They've stayed. We've had arguments. They haven't left. They haven't done anything where I'm like, oh fuck, like my life is in danger, kind of thing. You know, like you kind of have to figure that part out as well. I do think that it gives me a reputation for being cold or being a bitch because I'm not just gonna like jump out and like tell you my whole life story. But it's also protected me. It's also saved me from a lot of heartache. So I can't really be mad at that process either.
I think that kind of builds trust too. Like, you know, if you go through a long period of time, you know, and you kind of breaking down barriers and walls, then let's say, you know, you do get with the person and y'all together and y'all have something, the anxiety of, oh man, somebody else can easily just get her, isn't really there. Right. Because it's like, bro, you're going to have to put in some motherfucking work, my G.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, trust me, nigga, I almost didn't make it up. So I would love to see you try.
Right.
Okay, you think them DMs going to work? All right, good luck, buddy. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. It also builds, like, that bond. Like, I now know that I can come to you with a weak moment or in a weak situation and know that you're not going to leave and that I can trust you with my feelings and my thoughts. Correct. I think a lot of people don't feel like they can do that now, that it's kind of a superficial thing. Like, do you really actually know these people that you're spending time with? And most people don't. And so you're just kind of like, well, I mean, if you want, I don't even need to be in a relationship with you to have that kind of conversation. Like, that's not necessary.
Yeah,
It's like whatever.
Yeah. You can just be my friend.
Alright, well, with that being said, everybody should know that you can just be my friend. And
He's good for advice.
we're not good people here who are gonna kiss ass because we're perfectly fine with never talking to you again. So
Bags.
Oh, yeah.
just remember those things. I appreciate everybody for watching the usual podcast. I think that's gonna be it. I will give the two guests. Vell's not a co-star, he's a guest. Okay? You understand?
Come on, dog.
He's a guest.
You kicked me off the show or what,
He's
man?
a guest.
What's going on,
He's a
man?
guest.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna turn this usual into the Deshaun's podcast.
Right?
No,
We're all the guests.
Yeah.
No, that's too much pressure. That's too much pressure. I'm a guest too. I'm a guest too. This is no one's
Yeah, you
podcast.
gonna make a guess to what you gonna name it after this one.
Oh, the next podcast is gonna be called The Guest. Because that's what we all are. None of us have titles out here. We're all in charge. If you don't want to fuck with us, fuck you. Kiss our ass. Please like, share, and subscribe because we want to talk more. And this episode has been brought to you by Watermelon Juice.
Watermelon.
Watermelon juice.
Yes. And make sure to follow us on social media. That's Instagram, that's Snapchat, that's YouTube, and everything will be in the bio below.
Correct. I'm not on Tinder anymore, sorry. And I deleted my Bumble. I'm unavailable.
Oh, you can catch me on Hinge. No, I'm just kidding.